powerful explosion shattered the air, leaving two young women in a state of shock and disbelief. One young woman questioned how a high school student could possess such strength. The other remained calm yet concerned, observing the chaotic scene unfold. Tense atmosphere filled the room as Sue analyzed the remnants of a powerful force. He believed a Tier 2 superpower user had inadvertently tested their strength. Sue stood with his friends, astonished by the high schooler's incredible power. He remarked that no high school student could unleash such strength. His skeptical friend agreed, echoing his disbelief. An observant onlooker listened intently, curiosity evident in her expression. Powerful presence loomed as a young woman pointed out that Sue had just passed by, questioning if he caused the chaos. Tense debate unfolded as a young man with dark hair dismissed claims about weakness and disguise, insisting that even hidden strength has limits. A sense of urgency filled the air as a young man with dark hair analyzed the surroundings, determined to uncover the truth behind the mysterious quarters. Sue pointed out that both corridors led outside, speculating a powerful person must have exited through the other. Tang-Chi examined the wall, pondering the implications of his words and the situation they faced. The curious girl reached towards the cracked wall, her expression filled with wonder about what secrets it might reveal. Sue examined the stone wall closely, noting the traces that looked like they were made by a spear. Tense atmosphere surrounded the group as a worried figure questioned the capabilities of Sue. He stood confidently behind her, ready to prove himself. The crowd assembled at the exam site, tension thick in the air as they surveyed the damaged building. Sue stood ready, determination etched on his face. A determined young man with dark hair approached a group in the bus terminal, weapon in hand, exuding confidence as he moved forward. A determined young man with dark hair wielded a spear, standing tall in a mysterious location. Hulking silhouette of a unicorn rhino towered over anxious figures, casting a shadow of uncertainty across the test site. Guy 1 expressed surprise over the location. Guy 2 shouted in amazement about the unicorn rhino. Guy 3 critically questioned the increased difficulty of the exams this year. A confident and critical young man confronted the cowardly character, asserting that failure against a beast would lead to a life of uselessness. A curious young man with dark hair looked on as another spoke arrogantly, questioning his confidence and identity. Sue listened intently, eager for answers. Sue stood confidently with his sword, while others discussed his rumored bearing power called Adelgale and his rapid advancement. A confident young man with dark hair smirked, contemplating the strength of his competition for the upcoming power exam valedictorian title. A commanding figure addressed a crowd of nervous test takers, introducing himself as the chief commander of the power exam. A commanding figure stood on a military vehicle, announcing the exam's duration and location to an attentive crowd. A detailed map displayed zones marked by red concentric circles, indicating the structure of the upcoming exam. The chief commander explained how different beasts earn varying scores. A determined and authoritative figure warned the students about the core area being a risky challenge, meant only for the top contestants. Sue stood confidently, declaring his ambition to reach the inner zone and even the core, leaving his previous limits behind. Exam supplies were being distributed as a young man with dark hair watched attentively, curious about the unfolding events. Sue handed a bag to an older man with a friendly smile, revealing 3 items were inside. Tactical backpack and smartwatch gleamed under the lights, showcasing their impressive features. Sue explained the gadgets, emphasizing their importance in the exam. Teacher warned a young man with dark hair about the safe sphere, emphasizing that his life mattered more than the exam. Sue acknowledged the advice with gratitude. A woman called out urgently to a young man with dark hair, her voice cutting through the tension in the air. A confident girl offered a team up to a young man with dark hair, who reacted positively to her enthusiastic proposal. Sue gestured animatedly, expressing his concerns about the team composition for the power exam. Sue confronted the other young man, expressing frustration over his sudden change of heart. Sue stood confidently, defying the surprised onlookers who questioned his presence at the exam, determined to prove his worth. Sue felt a wave of gratitude as he acknowledged his kindness, while the thugs nearby eyed the interaction with hostility. Sue declared his intention to go solo, asserting his independence in front of the group. Sue expressed concern for the female character, urging her to be careful in their risky situation. Moments later, she responded with a calm inquiry. Sue gestured decisively, suggesting they team up to strengthen their chances in the competition. Sue smirked confidently, asserting he could still score high even without his teammates. A wave of excitement surged through the candidates as they prepared to enter the exam site. Sue declared his goal was to reach Superpower University. Sue ran with urgency, flanked by a serious companion, both focused on the path ahead filled with unseen challenges. A fierce woman swung her weapon at a determined young man with dark hair, who dodged her attack with swift agility. Sue lunged forward with fierce determination, brandishing his weapon to confront the enemies before him. Sue confidently strides forward, spear in hand, ready to face the challenges of the Unified Power Exam. A sharp beep echoed through the air as Sue glanced at his wristwatch, its alertness drawing his focused attention. The sharp beep resonated as a determined young man activated the verification device on his wrist, signaling the start of the exam. The digital scoreboard glowed brightly, displaying live rankings and scores that intensified the competitive atmosphere. Sue adjusted his wristwatch, a confident smirk revealing his determination to make his move in the fierce competition ahead. Air buzzed with urgency as Sue directed the group toward the core area, aware of the challenge ahead. Sue ran urgently, spear in hand, focused on his target as the competition intensified around him. Air crowded with tension as Sue stood over his incapacitated opponent, weapon poised and ready. Atmosphere was thick with anxiety as Sue reflected on his serious injuries and the missed opportunity to use the safety sphere. Sue glanced at the bleeding figure on the ground and reflected on how easily fate could have turned against him. The atmosphere hung heavy with urgency as Sue knelt beside the injured man. He called for help, acknowledging the brutal nature of the power exam. A sudden noise jolted Sue, his expression shifting to one of shock and alertness. A large clawed paw pressed down ominously, signaling the arrival of danger. Sue prepared himself to confront the menacing creature. The dark creature lunged at Sue, who watched with alarm as it approached. The shadowy creature lunged forward, its glowing purple eyes filled with hostility. Sue reacted, a surge of alarm coursing through him as he realized the danger. ghostly wolf loomed before him, its presence heavy with menace as Sue prepared for confrontation. Fierce energy surged from a determined young man with dark hair as he launched a glowing blue attack towards the target. Fierce energy erupted as a determined young man with dark hair executed a dynamic attack with his weapon, radiating power and intensity. Creature rushed past, startling a determined young man with dark hair as he turned to confront the unexpected threat. Terrifying creature revealed its sharp claws and bite force, showcasing its deadly attributes with an intimidating presence. Menacing creature with sharp teeth snarled ferociously at its enemy. Heavy tension hung in the air as Sue contemplated the fierce beast's intimidating aura. He reflected on how most awakened individuals struggled against this ferocious presence. His concern deepened at the thought of being helpless in such a situation. A terrified child in armor stood firm, clutching a sword while two bodyguards protected him against the looming threat of a menacing beast. Du stood ready with his spear, anxiety coursing through him as the fierce beast leaped towards him. He reflected on how that was his first true test against such a creature. Tension crowded as Sue focused intently on the monstrous creature advancing toward him. He prepared to counter the beast's incoming claw attack. Du swung his energy-charged sword with fierce determination, striking the monstrous creature in a moment of intense combat. Vibrant purple aura swirled around a confident young man with dark hair, illuminating the tension in the air. He assessed the aura, feeling unaffected by its power. Triumphant aura surrounded a young man with dark hair as he stood victoriously over the defeated Shadow Cat. Sue had killed one unranked fierce beast. Sue contemplated the worth of defeating fierce beasts, noting their meager rewards displayed on a holographic interface. The determined young man with dark hair walked quickly down a desolate street, urgency driving him toward the central area amid the fierce beast's aura. The determined young man with dark hair stood confidently, having just defeated multiple fierce beasts with ease. Sue had killed a Shadow Cat and an Ironford pig, gaining ability points. The determined young man with dark hair prepared to unleash the Purple Heaven Divine Thunder, reflecting on his lack of combat experience despite his newfound ability points. Tension thickened in the air as Sue focused intently, energy crackling in his hand like a storm about to break. He expressed concern about the energy cost of his abilities, revealing limits on the powerful attack. The determined young man with dark hair dashed forward, urgency fueling his every step as he approached the exam area. Sue thought about conserving his energy for the 12-hour martial arts exam. Menacing beast loomed nearby Sue. A determined young man with dark hair contemplated his strategy for the journey ahead. He resolved to use his spear technique against fierce beasts for combat experience. A fighting roar echoed as a determined young man with dark hair sprinted away from a charging beast, adrenaline coursing through him. Sue ran with determination, his heart racing as a massive beast loomed ominously behind him, pushing him to escape. The massive creature hurled Sue through the air, leaving him in a state of fear and confusion. Sue leapt into the air, swinging his weapon fiercely at the shadowy figure, embodying his determination to confront the unknown threat. The fierce young man with dark hair struck the attacking creature with his weapon, fueled by determination. Sue unleashed a powerful attack, his weapon slicing through the air with furious intent. The confident young man with dark hair stood tall, reflecting on his newfound speed and improved spear technique. He believed he could now kill fierce beasts more quickly. Sue examined an unusual blue screen displaying his spear skill status, feeling proud of his breakthrough to intermediate level. Blue aura surrounded a hand pointing upwards, signaling determination. Sue pondered how much further he could improve his intermediate spear technique. Fierce determination radiated from a young man with dark hair as he swung his spear in a dynamic attack. A wave of shock washed over a young man with dark hair as he reacted to an unexpected event. Amazement filled the air as a focused and contemplative young man with dark hair held a spear, absorbing advanced techniques flooding his mind. A confident young man with dark hair eagerly held his weapon, anticipating the chance to test it against a fierce beast. A curious young man with dark hair walked through a desolate street, suddenly noticing something unexpected. A concerned woman in a suit mentioned having seen Sue, her expression filled with curiosity. Tension crowded in the air as Sue's voice broke through the silence, questioning if the squad leader was imaging things. Another character expressed doubt, suggesting that with his strength, showing up would be reckless. A concerned woman in a suit wondered if she had really seen something wrong, recalling a silhouette that looked just like Sue. A sense of urgency filled the air as an alarmed young man with dark hair pointed toward a rhinoceros. Sue urged his companions to come quickly, noting the creature's stillness. A large, wounded wolf lay on the ground, its fatal spear wound marking a grim scene. Sue analyzed the wolf's injury, noting it hadn't dried yet. He observed that the creature had died moments ago, indicating its size was significant. Another figure reacted with surprise, acknowledging the wolf's imposing presence. The inquisitive figure noted the wolf's condition, maintaining a serious demeanor. Sue concluded that the wound was made by a long-handled weapon, identifying it as a spear. A wave of anxiety washed over a concerned observer, pondering if the figure she just saw was truly Sue. A skeptical figure questioned how Sue could possibly have killed the formidable rhinoceros, doubting his abilities against such a fierce beast. Air buzzed with curiosity as three figures gathered, discussing the implications of Sue's score ranking. The young man with dark hair asked if checking the ranking would reveal Sue's actions. The young man with dark hair was surprised, glancing at the ranking display while checking his watch. Atmosphere crowded with disbelief as three figures processed the shocking news about Sue's unexpected ranking. One character expressed doubt, questioning whether it could be someone with the same name. Another character wondered how E-rank abilities could be so formidable these days. Finally, the third character dismissed the idea, stating he couldn't believe it. The audience eagerly watched the screen, excitement crackling in the air as they anticipated the competition ahead. Sue observed the battle unfold, feeling hopeful for the outcome. The young man with dark hair listened intently as a confident man in a suit praised Joe's exceptional martial arts skills. A sense of achievement filled the air as a group of school principals engaged in a cordial conversation. The director expressed gratitude for the education quality at the schools. A proud principal acknowledged his school's recent achievement with a smile. Another principal nodded in agreement, feeling content about their progress. A concerned man informed the audience that the second high school needed to improve, as their best student was ranked only 18th. The atmosphere turned tense as a frustrated authority figure scolded the students, demanding their attention and improvement. A man in a suit, feeling perplexed, questioned the identity of Sue, wondering why he had never seen this name before. Shocked young man with dark hair reacted to the surprising news about Su being ranked in the top 50. Thoughtful character adjusted his glasses while contemplating Su's E-rank abilities and the possibility of hidden strength. Dynamic attacker Repettus Su showcased his skill, leaving the surprised observer in awe. The observer couldn't fathom how someone could achieve such a high score. Ominous warning filled the air, marking the urban street as a high danger zone. Su assessed the situation with cautious alertness. Su stepped forcefully on a green bottle, and it shattered beneath his determined foot. Post-apocalyptic landscape lay quiet, with only remnants of fierce beasts whispering through the air. Su observed the surroundings thoughtfully while snacking. He noted the decline in fierce beast activity in the central area. Intelligent ranked beasts claimed territory, complicating any future encounters. Sense of discovery electrified the atmosphere, as if something monumental was about to unfold. Su announced his find with eager excitement. Tiger lunged at the car, its fierce energy electrifying the modern street. Fierce arm-blade tiger roared menacingly, its presence demanding attention in the tense atmosphere. Su stood ready, feeling fortunate to encounter such a formidable beast. A surge of excitement filled the air as a young man with dark hair swung his spear with determination. He declared that it was perfect for testing his technique. A fierce, roaring creature lunged forward, its powerful presence electrifying the atmosphere as Su prepared to confront it. Through his spear, his focus unwavering as the moment of action approached. Su attacked the fierce beast with unwavering resolve, his weapon glinting as he charged forward, ready to prove his strength. The fierce animal lunged at Su, its claws bared and growl echoing menacingly. Su smirked confidently, weapon in hand, as he taunted his opponent about their power level. Su swung his weapon fiercely at the menacing creature, determined to end the threat before him. Raging Tiger lunged, its claws poised to strike at a determined young man with dark hair. Su dodged the tiger's fierce attack with agility and focus. Tension fills the air as a determined young man with dark hair prepares to strike, the beast's howl echoing ominously in the background. Tension thickened as a determined young man with dark hair observed the unfolding chaos before him. The ominous creature's eye glinted fiercely, fixated on a determined young man with dark hair. Su faced the menacing stare, unyielding in his resolve. Su confronted a colossal, roaring beast, his heart racing in the face of overwhelming danger. The massive creature lunged at a determined young man with dark hair, its sweeping claws slicing through the air. He dodged the attack, remaining alert to the threat. The determined young man with dark hair skillfully dodged the beast's fierce attack, his focus unwavering as danger loomed around him. The determined young man with dark hair assessed the beast's tenacity, noting its relentless struggle against the odds. Su prepared himself as a fierce tiger lunged forward, its fury evident in every movement. He swung his spear, focused and ready to counter the threat. Su unleashed a powerful attack, surrounded by swirling energy, his fury evident as he confronted his opponent. The fierce beast roared loudly, blood visible around it, creating a chaotic and frightening atmosphere. Air crowded with tension as Su faced the fierce beast, determination radiating from him. He swung his spear with fierce intent at the creature. Triumphant roar echoed as Su stood over the defeated armored tiger, weapons drawn, pride shining in his eyes. He noted that ability points from a first-tier beast were nearly double those from an unranked one. Exam hall was and a determined young man with dark hair assessed the danger surrounding him. He believed that the stronger the beast, the greater the opportunity for advancement. Su stood resolute, preparing to confront looming monstrous figures, his focus sharpening on the rare opportunity ahead. The teacher pointed out that Su was from Class 5, revealing his ranking on the screen, highlighting his position with 328 points. A group of teachers and students engaged in discussion, highlighting teachers' exceptional teaching methods. Su listened, feeling supportive of the praise being deflected. Excitement filled the air as a person pointed to the ranking screen, announcing a sudden boost in Su's score. In the lecture hall, a confident and knowledgeable young man explained the martial arts exam scoring system to an inquisitive and attentive listener. A worried man in a suit inspected his smartwatch, calculating the implications of its 4-second kill count update interval. The smug man praised Su's impressive feat of killing 5 ferocious beasts in just 4 seconds. A tense meeting filled with uncertainty unfolded as a young man with dark hair expressed his surprise about the situation. Moments later, another character calmly suggested asking the homeroom teacher for clarity. The man gestured animatedly, inviting teacher to elaborate on Su's talents and potential. Nervous but determined young man leaned forward, revealing that he had awakened an E-grade ability, weak electricity. The skeptical young man with dark hair confronted teacher, questioning if the E-grade ability was accurately assessed. The inquisitive older man contemplated the promising student's impressive journey, noting his E-grade ability and hidden talents with growing curiosity. Men in suits discussed a rising competitor, one expressing confidence about Su's potential to break into the top 10. Su contemplated the situation, pondering how another might have succeeded, wondering if it had been achieved through dishonest means. 2 shocked figures stood frozen, their expressions a mix of surprise and concern as the unexpected event unfolded before them. A list of names and numbers filled the page, revealing the participants in the competition. A powerful hand gesture emanated from a confident young woman, her presence radiating intimidation. She revealed her suspicion that a determined young man was responsible for the previous day's chaos. A determined young man with dark hair dashed forward, intent on proving himself during the exam. He couldn't comprehend how a new contender had entered the top ranks. A sense of urgency filled the air as a determined young man with dark hair ran swiftly, gripping his spear tightly in hand. A tense atmosphere enveloped the scene as Su swung his weapon at the approaching beast, determination etched on his face. Su raised his weapon high, confidently asserting that killing ferocious beasts was more efficient in the central area. The tense atmosphere shifted as a calm and strategic young man with dark hair observed a tracking camera drone hovering nearby. He noted that he had likely entered the top 10. Su confidently held his sword, declaring his intent to demonstrate strength in the martial arts college entrance exam. A determined young man with dark hair pointed at a holographic display, focusing on improving his strength before entering the core area. A determined young man with dark hair contemplated the lack of promotion notification, feeling frustrated about his ability points and the path to becoming an ability user. A determined young man with dark hair stood confidently, raising his spear high in the air. Determined young man with dark hair stood confidently, raising his weapon in excitement as he prepared to head to the Quarria. Vicious beasts surged forward, blood splattering in the chaotic scene, as Su faced them with unwavering defiance. 9 armored tigers prowled, fierce and imposing, with one towering in the center, radiating an aura of dominance. Su identified the armored tiger king, amazed by its size and long arm blades. Du celebrated the upcoming harvest, his confidence shining as he stood ready with a spear in hand. Du focused intently, determination etched on his face as he stared down the unseen opponent, ready for whatever came next. A tense atmosphere filled the air as a determined young man with dark hair called out to the hidden figure approaching him. A confident young man with dark hair addressed an unseen opponent, acknowledging their perceptiveness with a smug smile. A curious young man with dark hair asked if Joe recognized him. A confident young man with dark hair spoke, revealing he knew everyone strong enough for the Quarria, except for this new face. A tense standoff unfolded as Su faced an enemy poised with a sword. The enemy threatened him, claiming he had been watching the armored tigers. Su warned that the armored tiger king was a formidable threat, emphasizing the danger of facing 9 armored tigers as a team. Du stood tall, exuding confidence, as he declared his belief in his own strength and independence. If you'd like to see your favorite titles retold, leave a comment, and I'll be sure to pick some of them up from time to time. Also, let me know which video format you like more, long videos or short ones. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you again soon.